Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, is it going okay?
No.
No, it isn't. Okay, I need some help from Koen or Patricia. Koen or Patricia to help us out with the computer and the presentation. Meanwhile, I have some messages, of course, maybe for later on. If you haven't heard it yet, I'm going to say it again. There's a film night, a bicycle film night at the Honig factories, which will be from 8 to midnight tonight. But if you register on their website, which is fietsfilmnacht.nl, if you register, you have a free entrance if you attended here to the Cargo Bike Festival. What also might be nice is since you're into cargo bikes, there is a cargo bike race tomorrow. So if you feel fit and a little sporty, who knows, you might win the race if you register before tomorrow 1:30. So see what you can do. All kinds of bikes are welcome, of course. We're getting closer to the start. Oh, by the way, if there are people who haven't registered yet for dinner and still want to join dinner, it's still possible to register at the reception. It's for €15 that you can join, and dinner will be from 6:30 until 8. Maybe that's good to know if you're feeling a little hungry already. Okay? Sorry? Yes, it's also in the restaurant. Okay? Yes, but that is right after the program. We'll have a borrel, which means we'll have some drinks after the program, and the program ended. And it's what we call, what the English or the Americans would call, we're going Dutch. That means you have to pay for yourself. Are we set?
I think so, yes.
Okay. Felix Vanvuchelen, ladies and gentlemen, give him a warm applause.
Thank you. My name is Felix. I'm going to talk about BubblePost, a Belgian company specialized in urban logistics. Why we do what we do today? Maybe you can see it on the picture. BubblePost is based on or set up by a frustration of the mobility in the city centers, mainly in Ghent, where we started. But I think this picture could be taken in other places in Europe as well. So what we do is we want to make a positive impact in urban areas. It sounds a little bit cheesy or something like that, but it's really true. There are some trends, some figures, a little bit boring maybe, but it makes the whole concept of the presentation a little bit more obvious. So in 2050, 70% of the people will live in urban areas. Cities are expanding pedestrian zones. We see that in Belgium, we see that in Holland. I think that's in the other countries in Europe, it is the same. That's a good evolution, of course. The European Commission demands another reduction of 50% of the CO2 emissions in the different cities. This one maybe is a little bit more explaining to do. Here you see that 80% of the transport vehicles, they only bring 45% of the volumes of the goods into the city centers. That means that on the other side, that you see that 10% of the vehicles that come in and out of the urban areas into the cities, they carry also 45% of the amount of volumes. That means those types of vehicles are very good filled, they have high loading capacity, etc. But the 80% of the vehicles that come in and out of the city centers, they carry lots of air. And there, BubblePost is things we can do something to optimize those traffics. Oh, a little bit too fast. 70% of the total volumes that come into the city centers are parcels. Now you have big parcels, you have small parcels, but there are parcels. And only 9% are pallets and 60% are others. that makes that with the bicycles built of today, that 50% of even more than 50% of the city deliveries could be done by bicycles. 65% of the goods that come in and out of the city centers can be consolidated. Our business model, but I will speak about that a little later, is to consolidate different good flows that come into the city centers and they go out to the city centers. So you see that 65% of those goods or packages can be consolidated. Every day in Belgium, the Netherlands and Luxembourg, there are more than 500,000 packages, parcels delivered every day. And more than 150,000 packages or deliveries that are missed by people who aren't at home. So they have to been brought into the city centers, then brought back out of the city centers and delivered the day after, or the day after, or the day after, what you want. Already 42% of the amount of packages that come into the city centers to people, they get back. So that's the reverse logistics is increasing enormously. That's due to some companies like Zalando, so for example, where you can order 20 million pairs of shoes and only buy one and send the other ones back. Maybe 20 million is a lot, but okay. This is about the last mile cost. It's a big scope at 13 to 75%, but it just points out that the last mile costs of a total supply chain or a total logistic chain is a lot. Especially when you have a big vehicle, when only one stop or one drop in an urban area, it's going to cost up to 75% of the total of logistics supply chain. That means that there is a pressure on different things in the city centers, and we think that we have some business model, probably not the solution to solve everything in the urban areas, but we think that we can have an impact on the different types of levels that are playing in the city centers. What we do, we only do in the city centers. We only focus on the urban areas. So the other logistic providers, they can do the rural countries or things outside of the cities. We believe that the impact that we can have in the mobility can be one within the cities, and we think that the vehicles that can be used outside of the cities are maybe other vehicles or types of vehicles that we use or take into account in the city centers. The solutions today are maybe different than the solutions tomorrow. We strongly believe in the small and ecological friendly vehicles, but that doesn't mean that in the future there may be other types of vehicles that will also be used to transport goods in the urban areas. What's our mission? Yes, it's a little bit cheesy again. Structurally improve the mobility situation in the city centers and increase the viability of the urban traffic safety and citizens. So what do we do? In all the cities that we're active in, we have a warehouse in the outskirts of the city center, approximately 5 kilometers. It varies from 3 to 6 kilometers outside of the city center. We have a warehouse, and in that warehouse we can consolidate all the incoming goods. So we say to the incoming providers, okay, stop going inside of the city center, just come to the outside of the city center, drop everything at our place. There we consolidate, we make different routings and different zones, and we combine the different good flows within one vehicle or more vehicles, and then we deliver in the city center. And everything we do is by using our own IT platform and our own IT software integration that is been featured out with all the smartphones. So all our drivers have smartphone applications. They don't use big scanning devices or old paper clips, or I don't know. They all just have a smartphone which has all the features to do what they do. This is a picture of the types of vehicles that we have. I will start here. We have a few bullets. The bullets we bought because of the situation in Brussels. Brussels is not the most bike-friendly city in the world, I think, and we needed a little bit smaller vehicle to move dynamically in the city center. On the other hand, we have the trikes. We have different trikes. I think almost every trike that's in the room next here we already tested. We have some Radkoetjes. We have some let's say urban arrows as well. Now we've been focusing on the Evolo a lot. Evolo, it will come back in another slide, I think. But Evolo is a Spanish partner of ours. They've been constructing the bike that's here in the room next door, the Z2 Evolo. Sounds fancy, and it's constructed on our demands. On the other hand, we have the electric vans. We use the Nissan EV200, and we also have cold chain, so cooled vans on natural gas. Today we have 60% of our vehicles are less than 4 wheels, and 40% is 4-wheel vehicles. And I think we do up to 75% of the stops we do with the bikes, so the bikes and the trikes. I've mentioned the IT. So as from day one when we started, we found out that the IT is a very crucial part of the business that we're in. So from day one we started to look at the most adequate and optimal IT platform or IT solution for the business that we were doing. We hired someone to look and say, okay, what are the different types of platforms? And he came back at his journey and he said, okay, there aren't any, so we're going to make them ourselves. So today, 3 years later, we have a team of 5 IT software engineers. Is that the right name? Sounds right. Who are constantly making our IT platform. It's of course specifically built for us, for BubblePost, but especially built for the last mile distribution and the urban logistics. What for us was a very high feature, it must be very friendly to use and very friendly to communicate with not only our dispatchers and our drivers, but also with our clients and the clients from our clients. So we have all login, track and trace systems that everybody can communicate with each other. It's very easy to adapt, it's very flexible, and it's very visual. About us. We started out as BubblePost in 2013. Before that, we wanted to make an impact on urban mobility as well. And in 2012, we started with Bubble Taxi. We were a taxi service by bike. But then in 2013, we started delivering goods. We started out in Ghent. Then in 2014, we expanded a little bit in Flanders, and we grew to 5 cities in Flanders. Then in 2015, we grew some more. And now we have 14 cities in Belgium where we're active in, and the picture is not totally accurate. We're only active in Amsterdam and Utrecht. Normally next month we will be active in Rotterdam, and Breda and Eindhoven will be in the summer of 2016 that we are active in. For Belgium, 27% of the people who live in Belgium live in an area where we are active in. 2016 and 2017 are going to be the years where we're going to look outside of the Benelux. So we really have noticed that as we grew, we got more and more relevant for potential clients to work with us. When we were only working in Ghent, for example, they said, okay, when we have to sort out all our packages only for Ghent, it's not worth the efforts. But now when we grew in Belgium, for example, to 14 cities, then we really have a logistic solution for certain types of clients, that we gained the amount of clients. And we see today that there is a demand in the European markets, not only with clients, but also with potential partners that we are trying to find, maybe today also, with people who have the same ambition as us, but haven't had the luck to be investing in the right IT platform or the right know-how or about the vehicles. So we really strongly believe in 2016, 2017 that we can open up together with the right partners in other cities in Europe as well, because we already have some international clients who are asking us, well, when are you going to be active, for example, in the UK, because Nespresso is one of our clients, for example. We want the same service level and the same marketing, etc. in the UK. These are some of our clients that we work for today. I can imagine that you know some of them and other ones you might not know. I think what's good in this slide is that we have some bigger ones like the FedEx and the DHL, you will probably know, I hope. Then you have some other very local ones like Julie's House, I don't know if you know that, but it's from Ghent, like Roemer as well. But you also have the Nespresso and the Vente Exclusive, some bigger e-commerce clients of ours. But also food, we do lots of food. That was the last vehicle on the previous slide, was the cold chain vehicles on natural gas that we use for that. We drive we deliver for ICBF2016. ICBF2016 is Hanos from Belgium, for the people from Holland. And also Metro Macro. We also do SmartMat. SmartMat is the market leader of home deliveries with food packages. Is that the right word? Packages of food. Okay. So it's very diverse with the things that we deliver. What do? We saw that in the beginning of doing business, we had a very high percentage of the goods that were coming back because people weren't at home. Today we have got a first hit rate of 79.2%, which is quite high. But we put a lot of energy to gain that number. So we are highly on the communication level with the end customer and the customer as well. So when we receive the goods, we push out an email. When we start your trip, we push out an SMS and an email. Okay, within 2 hours, we make trips of approximately 2 hours. The Bubble Hero will be at your door. We can arrange time slots of 30 minutes. We do deliveries, standard deliveries for the B2C market, starting from 5 p.m. on Saturdays. And when you receive a message from us, you can, with your tracking code, you can just make an on-demand delivery. So instead of, in comparison to other logistic providers, when we come to someone at home, let's say at 11 o'clock on a Monday, and there's nobody at home, we think that on Tuesday at 11 o'clock there will be nobody at home otherwise. So other logistic providers, they seem to hope that there will be somebody at home at 11 the next day. We don't think so. So we do on-demand deliveries and we push it out after 5 p.m. We have a live track and trace system built within our IT platform, so everybody can look with their tracking codes where your packages is. Another advantage is, and I think that's not only for BubblePost, but everybody here who is doing urban deliveries or deliveries on an eco-friendly way, is that you have a strong marketing tool in hands to give to your clients. Nespresso, for example, did a survey to their customers in Brussels and in Antwerp about the image of Nespresso when it's been delivered on an eco-friendly way. And 62% of the people who were asked, they said, okay, I feel better about the brand Nespresso because they take care of an eco-friendly urban delivery. And that's something that made the people from Nespresso think, okay, for us it's very interesting because we got some kind of a high market value product we want to place very high in the market, and when we can make the image of the product even higher by looking at the way that it's been traveled or been delivered, that's something we take into account. We've saved some CO2, but okay, nobody knows what it is, CO2. So I can't imagine what 201 tons CO2 is saved. What's our future? We believe our business model can work in approximately 200 cities in Europe. So our aim is, of course, 200 cities, bubble cities in Europe. We can't do everything on our own. Because we see that the people we speak with who are already active in one city or different cities in a certain region, they have some experience, they have local knowledge, they have strong teams, they have willingness to grow. But most of those people got problems finding the right vehicles. They don't have the IT software solutions that's fit for a good service that they want to do. Finding bigger clients, sometimes related to the IT system. Sometimes the clients say, okay, if you don't have the right IT system, I don't want to work with you because I have to have a track and trace thing or something. And sometimes it's a problem because it's too local. They can't upscale and they can't convince certain clients to work with them. We think that we can be useful to help, and we have two scenarios built up. We have owned cities and partner cities, where the owned cities are all the cities today that we have in Belgium and in the Netherlands. But we also want, and we strongly believe in the second one, is a partner city. And the mainly difference between the partner city is that you work on an active way with the different partners in the local region. And then you can intensively go and search for the cooperation, and you can very, very fastly grow in Europe. In 2015, we did approximately 35,000 parcels in a month. In 2016, and that's a bit ambitious, I know, but yeah, we're only April, so it's maybe still doable. We want to grow to 350,000 parcels a month. Now, I don't think we will get there at the end of 2016, but that's the ambition. And the ambition is, with the right partners in Europe, we can just grow very fast and very big. So this is what we think that we have come up with to put out in a certain system, or think that what we've invested in and put strong. We have clients today for the local market, for the national market, but also for the international market. So we already have potential clients who say, okay, if you're going to be active in, let's say, Italy, we want to work with you. Do you have also couriers riding in London, because we have problems there as well. Everything we've done step by step, we have written down in a BubblePost manual. So normally when you read our manual, you can start from scratch building up a BubblePost your own. We have a brand that's started to become a little bit more firm. We have the IT tool. I've been building the right vehicles today with the Evolo. We have some management support and operational excellence. So those are the things that we want to push out in the European network. In 2018, it's really our ambition to become a European sustainable solution, a uniform and standardized product in the urban logistics. Our future clients. Today we do lots of cold chain, maybe even a little bit more than e-commerce. We want to, and we strongly believe that we can have a 50-50 percentage of the future clients e-commerce versus cold chain. And the reason why today we have so many cold chain volumes is just because there's lots of demands on the volume, the cold chain products for companies like ours. When you see the traditional logistic providers, they don't do food or they don't specialize in food deliveries. We don't know why, but okay, let's just keep silent, keep quiet, because we got lots of revenue of the cold chain clients. But when you see the restaurants, they're all mainly focused in the city center, one next to another, where it's really hard to drive with a normal vehicle, let's say like a big vehicle or a big truck. So that's a very high cost per stop for those ones. We strongly believe that within the international and the European network, that we can go to the overlap of the different clients that can be a very big difference. And in 2015, probably ambitious too, we want to have 15% of the market share within the European urban areas. Okay, that was it, I think.
Okay. Felix Vanvuchelen from BubblePost. Thank you, Felix. Regarding the time.